Hello friends! So because I don't have enough work to do already today, I thought I'd make another video. Another reaction video. I enjoyed making the reaction video the other day, so I thought I'd do one today. I've just finished What Remains of Edith Finch, and I did want to do a review for it, a full review. But I thought, no, let's do one of these reaction videos. They're easier, less time consuming, and it's more content. More content for the channel. So yeah, I've just finished it. It's a very, very good game. Very good game. So what you're seeing now is the last 45 minutes or so in the game. This isn't going to be a 45-minute video, don't worry about that. I just wanted to have something there instead of just a black screen with my voice, because that would be weird, wouldn't it? So let's not do it like that. So yeah, this is the last 45 minutes or so of the game that I've just finished. Don't worry, I'm going to cut it up so there's no spoilers. If you are going to go and play this game, it won't be ruined. What Remains of Edith Finch? It's made by a studio called Giant Sparrow that made The Unfinished Swan a few years ago on the PS3. Yeah, PS3. It's a PS3 game that got re-released for PS4. It's ostensibly a walking simulator, really. Think Gone Home, Firewatch. Yeah, you know what I mean. You walk around and you don't do a lot. This game is exactly that. You walk around and you don't do a lot. But it's one of the best ones out there. Not because of the story it tells. The story's good, don't get me wrong, but it's not the most intriguing of stories. I would say Gone Home's story is a better one than this, but I'd still put this up there with those, like, easily one of the top 2 or 3 for me in the walking simulator kind of genre, because it approaches it in one of the most interesting ways I've ever seen, and I think one of the most interesting ways that the genre has ever seen. First off, let me get my criticisms out of the way. The technical issues is really the only problem here. The environments are sometimes a little bit dark when I was playing. I don't know if you'll be able to see that on some of the footage, but sometimes I couldn't really see where I was supposed to go, what I was supposed to do, or what I was supposed to be seeing in the environment all that clearly. I played this on PS4, and it was a little bit spotty in terms of frame rate. It did judder sometimes, and the loadings chugged. Nothing game-breaking, but when it's supposed to be something that's telling you an immersive story like this, those things get highlighted more than they would in other games. But that's it. The rest of it is perfect. So the premise of the game, you play as Edith Finch, one of the last remaining members of the Finch family. She goes back to the family home, which housed her family for generations. In this kind of dark turn, you find out from the get-go in the game that all the family are deceased. They're all dead. And Edith Finch is going back to the house to find out what happened to them, why they died, how they died. The game alludes to a family curse. All the rooms in the house are sealed because of this curse, apparently. That's what it alludes to. That's what I took from it. And basically your task in the game is to find a way into these sealed rooms and figure out what happened in them. All the rooms are basically the bedrooms or the studies or the kind of personal spaces of the family members that died. So the relics of the family members are in those rooms. You go through those relics and you kind of figure out what happened to them. And the way the story is told is it's told in a couple of different ways. One of the main ones, one of the obvious ones throughout the game, is the use of text in the environment. Rather than just hearing Edith's voice narrate the tale, the text pops up on the walls and in the environments, and you can walk through the text and it like breaks apart. It's quite a clever way of doing it. It's quite a clever way of reinforcing what Edith is saying. Obviously, there's the kind of environmental storytelling around the place. The objects in the environment tell a story just as much as the text and the narrative and the eventual gameplay that we'll get to in a second. Yeah, the environments are well dressed. They add a lot of colour to the game. It makes the home feel like a home, and you can find out things that the game doesn't necessarily want to tell you directly through the environment. Very interesting. The real meat of this game, and the real wonder of it, comes in how each room you will find a tale of how the family member perished, a detailed one as well. You go into a room and you'll find an object, or kind of more like a shrine to a character, to a family member that has passed away. All the rooms are perfectly preserved as they were, which is a bit creepy, but also adds to the weight of it. You go to these objects or these shrines and you activate them, and you are transported into a little mini game almost. So in one instance, you play as a shark swimming through water. You're playing as a kite tearing up a wedding. One of the tales, you even play through the frames of a comic book. You're told how the character perished through the frames of a comic book. It's really brilliant stuff. It's subtle, it's sublime, it's somewhat ambiguous, because it doesn't directly tell you how or what happened to the family member. It lets you kind of figure it out for yourself. It doesn't show you like, oh, this person died this way. It tells you in an artistic kind of way. And it lets you understand the character more, because you're seeing that character's death through their own perspective, which is very unnerving, especially for the younger family members. because the game doesn't shy away from that as well. There are young deaths in this game, and you're playing as those children and as those toddlers as they die, but it's not done in a grim way. It's done in a beautiful kind of artistic, almost the beauty of death kind of way. It's fascinating stuff, and it really hit home with me. There's an air of sadness throughout the game with so much death, and Edith Finch herself kind of feeling lost and trying to figure out what happened with her family and why she is the way she is, and why what happened to the family happened in the way it did. Throughout the game, the mystery of the house is pushed. The house is ridiculous, the way it's stacked up and it's built upon and it's extended in a really strange way. And the mystery of that is the game, really. The game is the house, and the narrative does push this kind of, there's a curse, there's a mystery to be uncovered, there's a dark tale here. There is something wrong with this family in a supernatural kind of sense almost. But ultimately, what this game kind of concludes, or kind of left with me anyway, is that it wasn't always about the curse. It's ultimately it sings to what a family is. It's almost the curse of family, of having family. We all have families with strange twisting tales that permeate most families, and we have these family members that we have in our heads and the way their lives panned out. And this is what this game sings to in a way. It taps into that childlike wonder and that exploration of somebody's house. It made me feel like a child. It made me feel childlike going through this house and figuring out what the older people were up to. I know when I was younger, that was something I like to do. I like to uncover the mysteries. I like to root through my parents' bedroom or go through my grandparents' house. It gives you that sense of this kind of guilty curiosity of knowing the stuff that shouldn't be known, that's supposed to be kept secret. These family secrets that you're tearing apart. And that's what this game is. That's what it taps into. And to be fair, a lot of games of this ilk have been trying to achieve that for some time, especially the ones that are confined to house spaces, such as your Gone Homes and stuff. But I think the way that this does it does it better than any. It tells the story of the house and of the family better than any game that has tried to do something similar ever has done. So, final thoughts on What Remains of Edith Finch. It's wonderful. It is short. It's only a few hours long, but it's a testament to video games, not just walking simulators, but video games themselves and how they can tell stories. I know it's becoming trite to bring up how well video games can tell stories now, but this game is proof of that. It's proof that no other medium can do it in this way. No other medium can hit you this hard. But Giant Sparrow have done a phenomenal job in making a short, poignant game that's taken a fresh direction from these standard walking simulators. This is the best example of a walking simulator. The more I think about it, the more I'm processing it now. This is me live processing the game. I think with this game, it's not the best video game story out there. Definitely not. But it tells the story in the best way a video game can do. That's it. Right now, I don't think there's another video game out there that can tell a story better than what Giant Sparrow have done with this game. That's it. That was it. It's not a great story, but the way it tells it, the method is perfect. That's it. Said my piece.